Hello students, in today's class let us continue with exercise 9.2 problems on arithmetic progression. So let us move on to our fifth question. It is given that in an AP if pth term is 1 by q and qth term is 1 by p, then prove that sum of the first pq terms is half into pq plus 1. Whenever it is given just nth term, pth term or qth term, it is like an, ap, aq. Okay, if it is given sum to p terms, sum to n terms, then you have to go for Sn formula. So it is given ap is 1 by q and aq is 1 by p, and we need to show that. So this is like mere calculation, simplification part. We know what is the formula for an. From that we can proceed our problem. We need to prove SPQ. So to apply Sn formula, we need to know n. N is PQ, which is given in the question. We should know what is our first term and the common difference, or is the last term, right? So let us solve these two equations and find what is our A and D. Once we know what is our A and D, we will substitute in Sn formula to show this. Okay. Now what is An? An is A plus n minus 1 times D. This is what our formula. Now AP is going to be A plus P minus 1 times D. AP is given as 1 by Q. Right? Let us mark this as first equation. Similarly, AQ is equals to A plus Q minus 1 times D, which is given as 1 by P. Mark this as second equation. Now let us solve these two equations. Let us subtract, then only we can eliminate any one variable. These two will get cancelled. So P minus 1 minus of Q minus 1 into D is equals to 1 by Q minus 1 by P. So this is going to be P minus 1 minus Q, minus into minus, it is going to be plus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 will get cancelled. Into D is equals to PQ, we can take it as LCM, so P minus Q. So P minus Q times D is equals to P minus Q divided by PQ. P minus Q will get cancelled. So D is 1 by PQ. Right? After finding our D, we can substitute in any one of the equation to get our A. Now I am going to substitute D is equals to 1 by PQ in first equation. So 1 by PQ plus P minus, A plus P minus 1 times D, right? So A we don't know, plus P minus 1 times your D value is 1 by PQ is equals to 1 by Q. I have substituted in my first equation. Right, now we need to simplify this. So A is equals to 1 by Q minus of P minus 1 divided by PQ. Now if you take LCM, PQ is our denominator. We need to multiply numerator by P, minus into minus, it will become plus 1 because the denominator is PQ only. These two will get cancelled. So again the first term is also 1 by PQ. First term is also 1 by PQ and the common difference is also 1 by PQ. So once we got our first term and our common difference, we can substitute in Sn formula and find what is SPQ. Now we need to substitute in our Sn formula. Sn is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times D. Now n is PQ because we need to find SPQ only. So PQ divided by 2, which is equals to 2 into, in the place of A 1 by PQ, in the place of D also 1 by PQ. Now this term also have denominator PQ, this also have denominator PQ. So common we have 1 PQ, so we can cancel everything. We got 1 by 2 into 2 plus PQ minus 1, which is PQ plus 1. So hence we proved the sum of first PQ terms. When we write Sn, which means sum of first n terms, right? Remember. So sum of first PQ terms is half into PQ plus 1. Hence we proved, right? Now let us move on to our next question. If the sum of a certain number of terms of AP is 116, find the last term, which means what is given in the question. So it is given the AP is 25, 22, 19, etc. and sum of a certain number of terms Sn is 116. They asked to find your last term. Now we can find last term by using Sn formula. What is your Sn formula? Sn formula is n by 2 formulas we have one formula involving your last term. So directly you can substitute and find it. And Sn is equals to n by 2 times A plus L. Right, but we cannot substitute directly in that, because for that we need to know what is our n first. So our aim is to find our n first. Once you know what is your n, you can find what is your last term. That number is going to give you your last term. If suppose n you got it as 8, then A8 is going to be your last term. Right. So first let us find our n. How can we find our n? Again using the same Sn formula only. Now from the given data, what is your A? 25, first term, and what is your D? D is going to be second term minus first term. So 22 minus 25. Blindly don't write it's 3. It is going to be minus 3 because second term minus first term only. Right. Now what is your Sn formula? N by 2 into 2A plus n minus 1 times D. Your Sn is 116. So n by 2, n we don't know, 2 into 25 plus n minus 1 times D is minus 3. This is similar like our fourth question which I gave it as homework yesterday. So hope you know how to solve this. So this will become 50 minus 3n plus 3. This side this is 116. Now bring this 2 to that side and simplify it for n now. Now after simplification, see it is mere algebra. Bring this 2 to the other side and bring all the like terms to one side. We got a quadratic equation in n. So factorize it by splitting the middle term, or else use minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a formula, quadratic formula. And we found n as two values, n is 8 or n is 29 by 3. But n denotes the number of terms which cannot be in fraction. Therefore, n should be equal to 8. But the question is not to find your number of terms. The question is to find your last term. So how can we find our last term? N is our last number of terms, right? So A8 if we find, that will give our last term. So what is our An formula? A plus n minus 1 times D. So A8 means A value first term which is 25 plus in the place of n we have to put 8. 8 minus 1, D is minus 3. So it is going to be 25 minus 21 which is equals to 4. So your last term is 4, right? Let us move on to our next question. Next question, it is given, find the sum to n terms of the AP whose kth term is 5k plus 1. They have given you the kth term. So using this we can find what is our first term, second term, third term, fourth term. Likewise we can find all the terms of the AP by replacing the value of k, right? And from that we can find what is our first term and what is our common difference. So once we know what is our A and D, we can find Sn. They didn't specify the value of n, so you will get the answer in terms of n only. Okay, now let us see how can we solve this problem. So A1 is going to be 5 plus 1, which is going to be 6, right? In the place of k I have replaced it at 1. A2 is 5 into 2 plus 1. So 10 plus 1, 11. Right? Therefore, what is your common difference? Second term minus first term. 11 minus 6, which is going to be 5. So what is your Sn formula? N by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d, which is equals to n by 2 into what is your first term? 6 plus n minus 1 times d is 5. So which is equals to n by 2 into 2 6 are 12 plus 5n minus 5. So which is equals to n by 2 into 5n, 12 minus 5 is going to be 7. So Sn is n by 2 times 5n plus 7. We cannot simplify this further because they asked you to find just sum to n terms. Thus we found the answer in terms of n. Yes, hope you understood. Now let us see how can we solve our 8th question. It is given if the sum of n terms of an AP is Pn plus Qn squared, find the common difference. Sum of n terms, which means Sn is given. Sn is Pn plus Qn squared. They asked you to find the common difference. So how can we find? Sn is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. If the Sn value is given as a numerical value, at least we can find a numerical answer, right? But here they have given in terms of n only. So by comparing only we can obtain our common difference. So n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d is the formula for Sn, which is equals to Pn plus Qn square. Now what I have done is I have multiplied n by 2 into 2a plus n by 2 into n minus 1 times d, which is equals to Pn plus Qn square. Now 2 will get cancelled. So Na plus, again multiplication, n into n is n squared by 2 into d, right? Then n by 2 into minus 1 into d. So minus n by 2d. This side Pn plus Qn square. Now we are going to compare the coefficient of n square. What is the coefficient of n square this side? Q. What is the coefficient of n square this side? D by 2. Right? So if we compare the coefficient of n square on both sides, we get, comparing the coefficients of n square on both sides, we get Q is equals to D by 2. So this implies 2Q equals to D, and hence the common difference is 2Q. Yes, hope you understood. It's a very easy problem. Let us move on to our next question now. Now let us see how can we solve our 9th question. It is given the sum of n terms of two different arithmetic progressions are in the ratio 5n plus 4 is to 9n plus 6. Sum of n terms of two arithmetic progressions. That's why we have denoted it one as s and the other one is s dash. And ratio we can denote it as fraction. So Sn divided by s dash n equal to 5n plus 4 divided by 9n plus 6. They asked you to find the ratio of their 18th terms. Understand, they didn't ask you to find the ratio of their sum to 18 terms. They asked you to find the ratio of their 18th terms. So which means A18 and A dash 18 we need to find out. Let us proceed with the thing which is given in the question. So what is the formula for Sn? N by 2 into, we don't want to give any notation for n because n remains the same. It is given in the question itself. So you don't want to denote it by dash and all. A, n by 2 into 2a. So 2a plus n minus 1 times d divided by the second arithmetic progression, we have denoted it by dash. So 2a dash plus n minus 1 times d dash, which is equals to 5n plus 4 divided by 9n plus 6. Right? N by 2 will get cancelled. So we got 2a plus n minus 1 times d divided by 2a dash plus n minus 1 times d dash is equals to this thing. But what we need to prove? We need to prove the ratio of this. So let us find that now. A18, keep it aside, mark this as 1. Now A18 divided by A dash 18 is equals to, what is AN formula? A plus n minus 1 times d divided by a dash plus n minus 1 times d dash, right? Here n is 18, so this is going to be 18 minus 1 and this is going to be 18 minus 1, right? So which is equals to a plus 17d divided by a dash plus 17d dash. This is what we need to find. But how can we find this? How can we relate this with this? That's what we are going to check now. Now if you compare what we got with what we have already, if you see a plus n minus 1 times d, here we have 2a plus n minus 1 times d equal to the ratio of 2a plus n minus 1 times d is equals to 5n plus 4 divided by 9n plus 6. That's what we have, right? So how can you obtain this out of this? We need in the place of n 17, then only we will get a 18, right? So when you can obtain this? Only if we take n is equal to 35. So if we take n equal to 35 in the first equation, what we will get? 2a, put n is equals to in 1. So what we will obtain? 2a plus 35 minus 1 is going to be 34d divided by 2a dash plus 34d dash is equals to 5n plus 4 divided by 9n plus 6. Now we can divide throughout by 2, right? Numerator and both denominator. So it will become a plus 17d divided by a dash plus 17d dash is equals to 5n plus 4 divided by 9n plus 6. We are dividing it by 2, both numerator and denominator. Okay, mark this as 2 and mark this as 3. Therefore, here we have to put in the place of n as 35, right? So 5 into 35 plus 4 divided by 9 into 35 plus 6, because we have substituted n as 35. Why we need to substitute n as 35? Only if we put n as 35, this will become 34 and it will become an even number, and if you divide 34 by 2, we will get 17. 17 is our required number, right? So we need to put n as 35. So 5 into 35 plus 4, we got it as 179 divided by 9 into 35 plus 6 is 321, right? Therefore, from 2 and 3, we got a plus 17d divided by a dash plus 17d dash is equals to 179 by 321. That is a 18 divided by a dash 18 is equals to 179 divided by 321. Yes, hope you understood what we have did. This cannot be done directly. So what we have done here is we have simplified this and we arrived at the ratio of the 18th term by taking the n value as 35. Accordingly, you have to choose your n value and then substitute to arrive at your solution. Yes, hope you understood. Now let us move on to our next question. Now let us see how can we solve our 11th question. It is given sum of the first P, Q and R terms of an AP are A, B, C respectively. They asked you to prove this. Okay, sum to P terms, Q and R terms are given as A, B, C. They asked you to prove this. So how can we prove this? The same way, let us start from Sn formula. What is your Sn? Sn is n by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d, right? 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Now Sp is going to be p by 2 into 2a plus P minus 1 times D, which is equals to A. Yes, mark this as first equation, or else we can simplify this and then we can mark it as a first equation. Bring this P by 2 to the other side. So it will become 2A plus P minus 1 times D, which is equals to 2A by P. This is our first equation. Similarly, we can obtain using SQ. It is going to be Q by 2 into 2A plus Q minus 1 times D is equals to B, or 2A plus Q minus 1 times D is equals to 2B by Q. This is going to be your second equation. Similarly, SR is equals to R by 2 into 2A plus R minus 1 times D is equals to C, or else 2A plus R minus 1 times D is equals to 2C by R. This is going to be the third equation. Now what are we going to do is we are going to solve these three equations. Right now let us take the first and the second equation. What is your first equation? 1 and 2. We are going to consider 1 and 2. 2A plus P minus 1 times D is equals to 2A by P. And second one is 2A plus Q minus 1 times D is equals to 2B by Q. So minus these two will get cancelled. So we have P minus 1 minus Q, minus into minus it will become plus 1 into D, which is equals to 2A by P minus 2B by Q. So plus 1 minus 1 will get cancelled. We got P minus Q times D is equals to 2A by P minus 2B by Q. Right? And if we take LCM, it will become 2AQ minus 2BP divided by PQ. Alright, this P minus Q we can bring it to the denominator. So it will become into P minus Q. D equal to. This is what we obtained. Right? Now similarly, let us solve the equation 2 and 3 and let us see what we will obtain for D. After solving second and third equation in the same way, we arrived at the value for D as 2BR minus 2CQ divided by QR into Q minus R. Earlier we got another value for D, right? Both are denoting D, so we are going to equate. Now what will happen? We have 2 in the numerator, so all 2's will get cancelled, right? Now let us cross multiply this. So QR into Q minus R into AQ minus BP is equals to BR minus CQ into PQ into P minus Q. Right? We are going to multiply this throughout. So what will happen now if we multiply? Let us do it step by step to avoid confusion. So first let us keep this QR as such. We are going to multiply with this. So it will become, before we multiply, let us do some simplifications here. See, here also we have one Q common, here also one Q common. So both the Q's will get cancelled. Then we have Q minus R and this side we have P minus Q. What we need to prove? Q minus R, P minus Q. We have Q minus R and P minus Q term in the thing what we need to prove. So we don't want to disturb it. Let us keep it as such. We will just multiply this R alone with this term, right? So what we will get? AQR minus BPR into Q minus R. We are not going to disturb it further, which is equal to, similarly here P minus Q we are not going to disturb it. This side if we multiply BRP minus CPQ, right? Now we need A by P. A by P we need, but here we have AQR. So only if we divide by PQR throughout, we will get A by P and B by Q, right? That is what we need. So if we divide by PQR, what will happen? This will become A by P minus B by Q into Q minus R, which is equals to, the same way here, B by PRQ. So B by Q minus C by R into P minus Q, right? What happened to divided by PQR to these two terms? It will get cancelled. Actually, it means we are dividing by PQR here also, right? Throughout dividing each and every term by PQR, it will get cancelled. So this is what we have now. Now try to simplify it. It is A by P into Q minus R minus B by Q into Q minus R, which is equals to B by Q into P minus Q minus C by R into P minus Q. We need to bring everything to one side since we need to prove equal to 0. So A by P into Q minus R minus B by Q into Q minus R minus of B by Q into P minus Q plus C by R into P minus Q is equals to 0. Right, now this thing we got it and this term also we got it. Only thing left out is we need to simplify these two, right? So if we take B by Q as common, take minus inside because we need plus in the question. So it will become minus Q, minus into minus plus R, minus P, minus into minus it will become plus Q. So plus Q minus Q will get cancelled. We got R minus P. Yes. So this is plus A by P into Q minus R plus C by R into P minus Q equal to 0. Hence we prove. This is what we need to prove. Hope you understood. We have just applied the formula of Sn. We obtained 3 equations. We have solved taking 2 equations at a time. We solved for D and then we equated and then we have done a simple calculation and the simplification to arrive at the given solution. Yes. 12th and 13th question I am leaving it to you. 12th question is very similar like our 9th question. Here instead of giving a numerical values they have given in terms of m and n. You have to choose the value for m and n appropriately to get your ratio. You can give a try to 12th question. If you have doubts you can ask me. 13th question again it's a easy simple calculation solving 2 equation. Sum to n terms is given and its mth term, which means am is given and sn is given. So first using Sn, comparing the coefficients of n square and n, find what is your a and d and then substitute in am to get the value of m. Right. So I am leaving 12th and 13th to you. 14th question. Before solving 14th question, I wish to give you certain inputs about am. Am is the arithmetic mean. We are very familiar with arithmetic mean. What is arithmetic mean? The number which lies in between the two values or a given set of observations. What we will do, we will add all the observations and we will divide it by the number of observation, that will give you the arithmetic mean. So what is the relation between AP and AM here? Arithmetic mean we will denote it by AM, right? So what is the relation between AP and AM? Given 2 numbers A and B, we can insert another number in between A and B such that A and the inserted number and B will be in AP. If we want in such a case, what that A should be? A should be the AM of A and B. I repeat, if we have 2 numbers, we need to find the in-between number in such a way those 3 numbers should be in AP. If that is the case, how will you find that number in between A and B which should also be in AP? That is nothing but the arithmetic mean of those 2 numbers. If we find the arithmetic mean of those 2 numbers and if we insert it in between A and B, those 3 numbers automatically fall in AP. This is the beauty of AM and this is what the relationship between AM and AP. So using this concept, we are going to solve our next problem. They asked you to insert 5 numbers between 8 and 26 such that it is in AP. So what can we do now? Now we need to insert 5 numbers in between. Let us denote it as A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and your number is going to be 26. So like one number, you can insert as many numbers as we wish. So that's what we are going to do now. Now this is in AP, we know is in AP, right? So what is your n now? See, 5, 6, 7 is your n. Your A is going to be 8. And what is going to be your D now? We don't know. D we need to find. And AN is 26. So once we know what is our common difference, very well we can list out all these elements, right? So what is AN? AN is A plus n minus 1 times D. So A7 is going to be 8 plus 6D. A7 is 26. So which is equals to 26. So this implies 6D is equals to 26 minus 8, which is 18. 6D is equal to 18. So this implies D is equals to 3. 6 3s are 18. So once we found what is our D, we can very well find the remaining elements of the AP. Yes. So how will you find your remaining elements? 8 is your first term. Your second term A1 is going to be A plus D. So 8 plus 3, which is going to be your 11. A2 is A plus 2D. 8 plus 2 into 3. So 8 plus 6, which is going to be 14. A3 is A plus 3D, which is equal to 8 plus 3 into 3. 8 plus 9, or else 14 plus 3, which is going to be 17. Then A4 is going to be A plus 4D, which is 17 plus 3, which is going to be 20. Then A5 is A plus 5D, which is going to be 20 plus 3, which is going to be 23. Right? Or else you can substitute in this A plus 5 into 3. Hence we have inserted 5 numbers in between 8 and 26. In such a way, all these sequences, this sequence is a arithmetic progression. So you can write hence the 5 numbers in between, what is it, 8 and 26, 8 and 26 are 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, such that they are in AP. Yes, hope you understood. It's a very easy problem.
Now let us solve our next question. It is given the arithmetic mean of A and B is A power n plus B power n divided by A power n minus 1 plus B power n minus 1. We need to find the value of n. Arithmetic mean means what we know. We will add those two numbers and divide it by 2. So A plus B divided by 2 is equal to this. This is what given in the question. This is simple manipulation only. We are going to simplify for n. So first let us cross multiply this. So A plus B into A power n minus 1 plus B power n minus 1 plus 2 into A power, equals to 2 into A power n plus B power n. So when we multiply this, A power 1, A power n minus 1. If we multiply, what will happen? We need to add the powers, right? So n minus 1 plus 1. So it is going to be A power n. Hope you got it. A into A power n minus 1. Powers we need to add under multiplication if we have same base. So 1 plus n minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 will get cancelled. A power n plus A B power n minus 1 plus B A power n minus 1 plus B power n. Right? I have multiplied. Then which is equals to 2A power n plus 2B power n. Right? Now let us bring the terms to one side of the equation in order to simplify it further. So this implies I am going to bring a power n and b power n to the other side, since we have a into b power n minus 1 plus b into a power n minus 1, which is equals to 2a power n. This a power n I am going to bring it to the other side, so minus a power n plus 2b power n, this b power n to the other side, so minus b power n. So 2a power n minus 1a power n is going to be a power n, plus similarly this is going to be b power n. This is a b power n minus 1 plus b a power n minus 1. Now bring b power n to one side and a power n minus 1 to the other side. A b power n minus 1 minus b power n, which is equals to a power n minus b a power n minus 1. Now let us take b power n minus 1 as common. So we get a minus b. From b power n we have taken n power n minus 1 as common. So we left with one more b alone. Then only we will get b power n, which is equal to, similarly here if we take a power n minus 1 as common, we will get a minus b. So a minus b will get cancelled. So this we can write it as b by a the whole power n minus 1, which is equals to 1. It is not 0, it is 1, right? Now 1 can be written as b by a the whole power 0. Why? Anything power 0 is going to be 1 only. But why in particular we should write b power a? Because this side we have b power a only as base. So only if we write in terms of b power a, we can equate the powers. Okay. Now this implies n minus 1 equals to 0. Therefore n is equal to 1. Thus we found the value of n. This is the mere calculation only. Right. Hope you understood. Our next question is, given that 1 and 31, in between 1 and 31 m numbers have been inserted in such a way the resultant sequence is in AP. Therefore it should be A1, A2, A3 etc. am in between 1 and 31, and they have given the ratio of the 7th and the m minus 1th term is 5:9. We need to find the value of m. This is what the question, right? This is what given in the question. Now how can we find it? As usual, let us find our D using the given sequence. So we have denoted the numbers in between 1 and 31 as A1, A2, A3 etc. am. So your first term is going to be 1. Your last term an is going to be 31. So what is your an formula? A plus n minus 1 times D, right? Now what is your n? N is going to be already m terms and 2 more terms. N is m plus 2. Yes. So a m plus 2 is equal to first term 1 plus m plus 2 minus 1. In the place of n I have written m plus 2 into D, and your a m plus 2 last term is 31. So 31 is equal to 1 plus m plus 1 times D, right? So 31 minus 1 is going to be 30 divided by m plus 1 is your D. So the value of D is 30 divided by m plus 1. After finding D, we need to find the ratio of A7 and am minus 1. And one more thing here you have to note is, it is given the numbers, the ratio of 7th and m minus 1th numbers is, in the sense the numbers which is inserted, they didn't give in the AP 7th term and m minus 1th term. So blindly you should not take 7th term, means normally it will become a plus 6d, right? So they didn't tell you the terms of the terms, entire terms, right? All the terms they didn't include. They told you the ratio between the 7th and m minus 1th numbers. So they have inserted m numbers. Out of those m numbers, the 7th and the m minus 1th number. So what will be that 7th number? A1, the first number inserted will be a plus d, right? Second number will be a plus 2d. In the same way, seventh number will be a plus 7d, and m minus 1th number will be a plus m minus 1 times d. So the ratio of these two only 5 by 9. Okay, don't make mistake with this. Read the question properly and then proceed. Then substitute the values for a and d. 30 by m plus 1, and then simple calculation, cross multiply and solve for m. That's what we need to find. Cross multiply it and find the value for m. We got m as 14. Yes, hope you understood. It's a very easy problem. Let us move on to the next question. The next question, if you see, a man starts repaying a loan as first installment of rupees 100. If he increases the installment by rupees 5 every month, what amount he will pay in the 30th installment? This is a basic situation question, practical question based on AP. So the first term is 100 and the common difference is 5. They asked you to find out a 30th installment. They asked you to find out. Hope you can do this by your own. The last question, the difference between any two consecutive interior angles of a polygon is 5 degree. If the smallest angle is 120 degree, find the number of sides of the polygon. Again, it is given the difference between any two consecutive interior angles is 5 degree. So it forms an AP. It has a common difference and it starts from 120 degree. So your first term is 120 and the common difference is 5. They asked you to find the number of sides. What you know about the interior angles of any polygon? The sum of interior angles of a polygon is n minus 2 times 180. Hope you remember, n minus 2 into 180 is the sum of all interior angles of any polygon. Right? Sum of exterior angles is 360 degree. Interior angles is n minus 2 times 180. So Sn is equals to n minus 2 into 180, which is equals to, you know the formula, right? N by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. In that d is 5, a is going to be 120. So with all these idea inputs, find what is your n. Right? So I am leaving this problem also to you. You have to do this as homework. With this, let us wind up today's class. Do these problems as homework, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you, students.